What up? What up? What up? We are back with another live stream and another Common Ground show. And it's time to get to a common ground. And it's your boy, Jacoby, your black host, dark
I
skin,
swear.
the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's me.
That is so
And
gross.
then also my white Pop Tart best friend, Thomas.
My white Pop Tart. I swear. I can't. Just shut the show. Just shut the whole thing down right now. That is so. Whatever. Okay. Anyways, yeah. On that note, guys, thank you all for coming back. It's been a week, and I'm sure you guys feel that as well. Look, we're the Common Ground Show, and our main desire is to uplift each other, and that might mean disagreement. But at the end of the day, we are all Americans, and we hope to have a greater respect for each other. Whether you believe it or not, everything stems from religion, whether that be at the end of a barrel or a knife or a book. Every society was built off of force or persuasion. The question is, what is best? Who gets to decide what type of religion is best to build a society? What does that look like? Why does it even freaking matter? We hope to tackle that tonight. We hope also to bring some form of understanding to the geopolitical world of war. I don't know if you are aware or not, but we are potentially very close to actually going to war with Iran. Is it justified? That's what I want to know. Will this destroy Trump's presidency? Legitimately, wars have broken presidents and they have saved presidents. And what is the freaking point to even go to war with Iran? We hope to give you some context. I am still confused a little bit, and I want to see the broader purpose and broader picture of why even doing it. Maybe, just maybe, we can get some answers to that one as well. So thanks for being here. Let's go. So Jacoby, I wanted to
We also
start
have
with.
Dustin coming on the live.
Oh, is he here?
Yes, he is
Oh,
here.
that little turd. I'm
Dustin,
going to start with Dustin when he gets on.
yeah, I guess he's still stuck in the green room.
That's just sad. So while he's stuck in the green room, I guess I'll just chat here. So we're going to start off today, guys, with a conversation on religion. Where do people get off with thinking they can either persuade individuals? Really great ceiling, Dustin.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate
What
that.
up?
Popcorn.
We're having technical difficulties.
I think you're having technical difficulties, so that's great. Listen, guys, this is the number one podcast show in the world right now, mainly due to the inability to have really good.
I think I'm froze up.
I don't know, whatever this is called, whatever's going on over here at De La Casa Dustin.
We could hear you, Dustin.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you. I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear y'all fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Is your screen good?
It's just your screen's a little jacked up. You got a little cable in front of that.
I'm on my phone tonight. I wonder, it might even be better. Is there a way I can kick my camera off so I'm not lagging so bad?
You're not lagging on our end.
You're not lagging on our end.
Yeah, I'm not?
Nah.
No.
Okay.
I mean, it
Sweet.
might be
I'm just going to leave it like it is.
It's a tad. What's up, DD VR Cole? I'm sorry. I'm terrible with reading anything.
Thanks for being here, Dee and dealing with this technical difficulty situation we got going on.
Yeah. But here, we could go ahead and kick off these topics because I think it's going to be a super interesting thing. I'm also ready to talk about Iran, but we go ahead and kick off what you want to start with.
Me?
Yeah,
You talking to
tell
me?
us.
All right, yeah. So I wanted to start with you, Dustin. We're going to start with religion, and we're going to talk about why religion matters. We're going to talk about why religion builds society. Again, it could be any type of religion, those that believe in force, those that believe in persuasion. And it doesn't have to be just the Bible. It can be the Quran. It can be Hinduism, Buddhism. Um, which one should we build society off of? Start with you, brother.
Me personally, I would adhere to Christianity and
False.
just
Hey,
yeah.
Dustin,
I don't
can
think
you
I'm
move
gonna
that
find
cord?
many
Can you move that
people
cord out the
contesting
way?
that on there. Yeah. Okay.
No, you good.
Trying to put my bald head, man. Yeah, I would adhere to Christianity, man. It's there's a hundred different reasons we can get into, different ones, but I think if you actually look into the historicity of the religion, I think it stands the test of time the best, man. I mean, Christ is the most historically testified figure, and then he had 12 men very close to him who wrote things down, and we can read those things. And those guys went to their graves for that same very belief that they witnessed him rise from the grave, and those guys wrote things down, and so on and so forth. And not just on that alone, but the fruits of Christian countries, man. When you implement the morals of the Bible, in particularly, it just produces a way better fruit for a country. And most other religions, you can just kind of look at them. Man, look at the other countries. No shade on the people. It's just the worldview they implement. It's not as good as what the West built. This is the most technologically advanced, empire we've seen in the last, since Rome. And when Rome legalized Christianity, the West was born, man, and then it just exploded.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you on that one. And you can, and I don't know if y'all have had the chance to listen to Marco Rubio's speech that he did. It was at the Milan. I can't say the freaking name, but it was some Security Council meeting where all the heads of our wonderful, beautiful countries got together and said, "Hey, let's talk." And so he went there and basically told them, "Let's stop screwing around. Let's hold to our traditions, and let's stop importing people that don't have our traditions, that don't believe in what we believe, that don't care about what we care about." Is from what that's kind of how I grasped from his speech. But I do agree with you. Like the Western world, Europe and America and Canada, I guess you could say. I'm ignorant to the fact of not below the equator, but below Texas, Mexico, and below, really kind of if they would be classified as the West as well. But everything from Europe to America was built off of Judeo-Christian principles. It wasn't built off of Hindu principles. It wasn't built off of Buddhist principles. It wasn't built off of Islam. It was built off of Judeo-Christian principles. And there has been many of countries that have been built off of all of those other religions, all of those other thought processes, and none of them come remotely close to the technological advances that we in the West have. None of them have come remotely close to, I would argue, the societal advances that we have had. And nothing has come close to breaking the barriers of racism that we have had in a Judeo-Christian type of worldview. And so it's interesting when people want to break away and destroy that worldview and institute something that has nothing to do with what built this society. And so I don't understand why people do that. I look forward to the day that we have somebody on this show that truly like adheres to some like a true like Muslim or like a true communist or a true socialist, somebody that does not adhere to a Judeo-Christian form of worldview. I really look forward to having that type of discussion. But yeah, so I completely agree with you on that, Dustin. It's not something that we take lightly, but it is something that is 100% being attacked right now, and I don't think anybody would sit there and say it's not being attacked. And so, yeah.
I wouldn't say or connect our advancements to it being Judeo-Christian. And
Why?
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 I think it's just the type of culture we have, which is capitalism. It produced.
Yeah, but what built that? What built that culture?
People.
Okay. What type of people built that culture?
Some Christians, some Catholics, some Muslim, not Muslim, but some atheists.
But they all adhered to a Judeo-Christian thought process. Like the majority adhered to it.
When you say
building
Judeo-Christian,
it.
when you say Judeo-Christianity, like, are you define Judeo-Christianity? Because I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the gospel. I don't believe in that I'm a Judeo-Christian.
It's that's what I'm saying. That's just like the underlying term.
So are you saying that what Israel pushed, the Judeo-Christianity?
There's a lot of intertwining. So go ahead, Jacoby. My bad, bro.
Oh, you you was a little delayed. You go ahead.
Am I lagging real bad?
Kinda.
All right, so here's a definitional term of it. A Judeo-Christian is a 20th century term used to describe the shared religious heritage, ethical values, and cultural traditions common to Judaism and Christianity, particularly in the U.S. It highlights shared roots in the Hebrew Bible and monotheism and concepts like the Ten Commandments, often used to promote a unified Western or American moral framework. So
Yeah,
it
I'm
basically
not a
just means
Judeo-Christian.
you are a Judeo-Christian. You're just
That's-
pissed off at Israel.
No,
And so,
it says Judaism.
Yeah,
It says Judaism. And
you're
then,
just pissed off at Israel, and that's okay, but it stems from the Hebrew Bible. That's what it is, and that's what it means.
just because it's a Hebrew Bible doesn't mean I am a Judeo-Christian.
That you hold to the belief
The
system,
Bible-
so yeah, it does. Yeah, that's the Hebrew Bible. Like it,
Hebrew
half the
and Greek.
Bible's written in
He-
Hebrew. Half
Hebrew
the
and
Bible
Greek.
is written in Greek.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
are we? What is Greek? What Zeus? Right. So are we?
Zeusites? You're not a bunch of Zeusites.
Are we? What's that religion?
Jesus
though?
was Jesus.
No.
would probably
What's that
say
religion? What's the religion with Zeus?
that you believe in the gods of the world. I
Yeah,
don't
but what's
know
the name
exactly.
of it? It's like
I don't know.
But my point is that
Worldism. Just call it worldism. I don't know.
it's the Marvels, the Avengers. Like if you believe in the Avengers,
Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna call it the Avengers because it got Thor, right? So if it's the Avengers, then are we Judeo Avenger Christians
No,
to satisfy the
it-
Greek?
No, not to and we're not trying to satisfy any freaking Jews. I think
But
I think that they
but
would
we
put
keep-
Judeo.
Why
we
are
put
we?
Judeo in there? I don't know. I'm not a religious scholar, but I think we put Judeo in there because Jesus was a Jew, and so we probably I'm assuming, making a strong, staunch assumption here, we are giving credence to the fact that Jesus was a Jew, and we take credence to the fact that the early church fathers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Thomas, Peter, all of those jokers, they were Jews, like they were ethnic Jews.
But
And so
Jesus destroyed the whole like
Well, can I
practice
jump in
of
real
Jew.
quick, guys?
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. If you stop spitting.
So, my bad, guys. Let me take us out. So, I'd make the argument that Judeo-Christian is a Protestant coined term because your traditional forms of Christianity do not view Israel in the same way Protestants do. They don't view them anymore as God's chosen people. They believe that covenant was ended at 70 AD because there's a lot of prophecy that they adhere to it in the Bible. But as far as like the nation states, I don't know. I don't get super big into the political side of it because, again, like we always talk each week on here, like I try and look at it through the lens first of my worldview and then look at the politics. But like again, man, the scripture's very clear. So if you're a Protestant, you have to adhere to the scripture as authority, and the scripture says that Christ is the only way. And they deny Christ. And it's pretty much as simple as that. That's the reason why there's a lot of people on conservative side now that are protesting other conservatives, because there's one side that says, hey, we're historical Christians and we have a historical record backing it. Now, there's a separate argument within the Catholics, and that's a whole different one, but I'm just going to speak of the church of the first 1,000 years. They did not teach a pro-Zionist stance.
What they teach?
They taught the church was the new body of Christ. So the Jews, which Protestants, I grew up Baptist as well. So I mean, I was always taught that, the Jews' special relationship, they were there to, through them would become the Messiah, through their bloodline. But also in the New Testament, Paul talks repeatedly over and over about how the new covenant is those who are in Christ. And not only that, in Galatians, the first few chapters of Galatians, he's talking about an exegesis from Genesis 12 through 15, where he's talking about how Abraham put in works with his faith before God found him righteous. And so through his seed, they would bless him, but his seed is referring to Christ. And so those who reject the seed, those who reject Christ, therefore, when the covenant is fulfilled through Christ, if they reject that, just because they're Jewish according to Paul doesn't mean they have found salvation, because most of the people he was preaching to in the New Testament was Jews. And then what did God tell him to do whenever they wouldn't adhere? He said, take your sandals off, shake them off, and go to the next town.
Yep. Which apparently was an extreme insult in that time, was to when you walked out of the town, like you were at the town gate and you took your sandals off and you shook off the dust of that town.
Yeah.
When I first understood that, I understood like everybody that was at the gate there was an audible gasp, like he insulted us, and so yeah, no, completely agreed. Well, we got a little sidetracked there because Jacoby hates the Jews. So what we'll do here is get back on track with other religions. So I know we've talked about Islam here a little bit, but I want to discuss a little bit as to why we don't think Islam would be a good base to build a society off of. Who wants to go first?
Repeat that again.
Go ahead, Jacoby.
No, why do either of y'all think that Islam would be or wouldn't be a good base to build a society off of? and why?
Well, absolutely not. uh, just number one, the Prophet Muhammad. Um, that's who they support more than Jesus, and there should be no God's worship before the true God, the one true God, and so they worship Muhammad and Allah, and they. I remember there was a Muslim in my school, and he said that Allah is the same God as your God. Like you're, you say you're a Christian. Allah just means God, and Dustin, you probably know off rip, like off the top of your head, but Allah doesn't actually mean God. It means something else um, in their translation, but I can't remember right now. But just with the the confusion of Muslims, I have grace because I believe that there's a lot of Muslims who practice the faith have good intentions, um, and they're truly seeking Jesus, but they just got sidetracked. And then you have Muslims who are very much on a war path, and that's according to the Quran, that's how they have to live if you're not Muslim. And so it's for a religion that says if you're not giving your all to my God by my timing, then you're dead. Then that's something I'm gonna refuse anyway. Like, thank God for Christianity because I refused Christianity all the way up until high school, like right before high school. And so, if I would have been killed because I didn't convert into Christianity, then like I would have never known Jesus. So therefore, Islam even being an inch of an idea of a place that we should build any foundation, I would disagree. So, Dustin, if you want,
I agree as well, man. It's built on nothing but bad ideas, bro. Um, Muhammad was a, if he even existed, there's some people that question whether they even made him up or not, but regardless, when you look into what the Quran and all that is, it's the area of the world that came out of, man, they only had like bits and pieces, and there was a lot of Gnostic gospels floating around those areas. So those are the fake ones. Those are, attributed to the disciples that came 600 years later, And so a lot of what he heard, you can actually see it in the Quran. And you see bits and pieces of what he heard from the Jews, from the Torah, and he adds that in there. And he the bits and pieces he heard from the Gospels, he adds that in there. And so, like, there's a really good YouTube channel. It's called God Logic, man. And that dude, and he is phenomenal in the Bible and the Quran, man. And he's got an awesome channel. But he dives deep into it, and he debates Muslims every single night. And it's like he just shows like whoever put this together, they were just trying to pass themselves off as a God and trying to use religion and Christ and stuff to further their story. But they have a dilemma, and it doesn't even make sense to be at Islam, be a part of the religion of Islam, because their own scriptures tell Muhammad and other Muslims, if you doubt what's been revealed to you, then go check the scriptures from the people of the book, talking about the Torah and the gospel. Well, when you go check those scriptures, it says Jesus died on the cross and he rose again. Well, when you look back in the Quran, it says Jesus never did that. It was a hologram and it was made to appear that way. Well, who's going to be more right? But either way, that's a straight contradiction, because when the Quran is telling you, if you doubt me, go read the scriptures. Well, when I read the scriptures, it says the Quran's wrong. So the whole religion is based on just nonsense and a contradiction. And there's several of them that are just flat out contradictions. It's referred to as the Islamic dilemma.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Low IQ, man. God love them, but it's just what it is. Like, they practice like incestual marriage there, man. Pakistan's like 60% incest, and you do that for about 1,400 years in these areas. You got populations that look like they do now, and that's why they're trying to leave those countries.
Well, I would definitely say I wouldn't say low IQ, because these people understand their religion on a level that most American Christians will never get to.
I should clarify, not all. I mean, in like the areas more like Pakistan, and I mean every one of the countries have pockets, but it's usually the more radical they are, the more they will be for incest and all that, and they openly state it.
Yeah. No, as far as the incest stuff, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think it might be like a whole thing. But it's just like I sometimes envy. I think about like my childhood and how I studied the Bible. I envy that discipline that they had to be able to understand the Quran and to be able to speak things from the Quran in a confident way that most Christians can't. And so I respect that.
Well,
At
I
least
would argue
it could
that
be
it's
wrong,
only because
or
they're
it's
forced.
definitely wrong. But, huh?
I would argue it's only because they're forced. Because I'm not saying there's not devout ones here, but most of the ones that come over here, they even kind of get westernized too. They kind of don't follow it as hardcore. But the ones that do, they don't have a choice. If you leave in those countries, if they're under Sharia law and you're an apostate, you get put to death. No questions asked. So they have to.
That is something I would like. I wish that the Muslim world would figure out that part of their law, because you have a lot of countries that are Muslim that do not believe in Sharia, and then you have basically your terrorists that believe in Sharia. And Sharia is terrible. I think we've discussed Sharia before on prior podcasts, but it is a terrible law to live under. But yeah, I would not agree with Islam. And again, I hope one day that we can have somebody on that we can debate this with. But the main thing for me is I understand that the Quran like ultimately asks you, a Muslim, to die for Muhammad. Or Allah, sorry, not Muhammad, because Muhammad was Allah's messenger, apparently. And so Muhammad is not actually Allah. You have Allah, you have Muhammad, I believe. And so and I don't want to live under a law. I don't want to live under a regime that asks me to die for it. I would like to live under a regime that asks me to live for it. And that is what the Bible does. The God of the Bible asks us to live for him. You die to your sin to live as Christ. And so the only thing he asks us to do is to give up our sinful nature and to walk in righteousness with him. And he lays that righteousness out for us specifically throughout the whole Bible. And the main difference is, and I think, Dustin, you're right, like if they don't, they're forced to do it. Like the call to prayer that they have to do 5 times a day, like that is a very specific thing that they have to do. Like that is a works based faith. That is a works based religion, if you even call it a religion. Like there is a growing argument that I have seen, and I actually am coming more in line with it, that Islam should not have a religious covering. It's just an ideology. It's not a religion. And so, and if you could classify it as an ideology and not classify it as a religion, then you can outlaw it, especially Sharia. Like Sharia has no place in any type of Western society. I guess you can make an argument in other societies, but and especially in Western culture, like there is zero cross contamination with Christianity and Sharia law, much less Islam. And so, yeah, there's just no, I mean, you look at if somebody's watching this and you're looking at like, oh, you guys are being really ridiculous. Listen, go study what is happening in Europe right now. Like legit, don't even study Europe, study England. Just look at England and what's happening in England and what they did, allowing all of these migrants. And again, you're going to sit here and you're going to say, oh, Thomas, you're being racist. I'm not being racist. Like they allowed all these people into their country. They didn't say you have to assimilate or you get out. They didn't say you have to follow our laws or you get out. Like there is ridiculous recordings of the amount of rapings of UK women that just go out the door. I think it was like 250,000 rapings that were recorded. Nothing's been done about them. And yeah, I saw a video one time. They were interviewing a guy that clearly was not like native UK, and he was like following a girl around or something like that, and they confronted him to stop him, and he was like, I think she's pretty, like what's wrong with me following her around and trying to get with her? And they're like, she's like 14, dude, like what are you doing? And he's like, oh, like I didn't know, like this is common practice for me, like this is what I do, you know? And it's like, hold on, man, like you can't allow people that have that type of belief system to just willy-nilly come into your country or willy-nilly come into your neighborhood. A few shows ago, we sat there and talked about, hey, would you allow anybody to come into your home and help you create the laws for your house? No, you wouldn't do that. It's going to be you and your spouse or whoever you trust in your home. Are you just going to allow some rando from God knows where just to come and live in your community without vetting appropriately? But that's what the UK did. And so it's yeah, if you think Islam could be a really, really good way to build a society, look at what it's doing to the UK. Look what Mamdani is doing currently right now in New York. Mm-hmm. And so it's yeah, New York was already in a bad spot, but man, give it 4 years of Mamdani, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I also think that with trying to gather my thought again or get it back. It was something you said right before the Mamdani.
Study UK.
Yeah, say that again.
Study, like, go if you think Islam would be a really good thing to build off of. Mm-hmm. Then go look at what it's doing to the UK.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'll get back. I'll just give this thought. I know for a fact that we, as American people, have gotten so confused that nobody is willing to make a decision on what's wrong and what's right anymore.
What
And
do you mean confused?
so I believe we've been indoctrinated over time to be more acceptance or acceptant of violence, of sexual things, uh, all these different things. So we've been more conditioned to allow it. Because if you even look at movies, back in the day, it was very clean, like very minimum cuss words, minimum like nudity and all that type of stuff. And now it's like any new movie, you're gonna see a nude scene. Like it's just it's just a normal thing now. And it's like these actors or actresses are okay with it. And so my point is the Muslim faith aligns a lot like what we've been getting indoctrinated to accept, to be okay with. And so Ma'am Dunny position in New York is there because of that being like a key indicator of people's mind being okay with things. And then as he starts to, I saw like he was taxing all the New York citizens now, um, and like those things that used to be like, heck no, you ain't doing this, is now more of a I'm okay with this. Because you even have conservatives, like I've talked to some conservative people that are open to some things. It's just because
Mm-hmm.
of social media and because of people's minds being um, constantly injected with thoughts, right? And not their own thoughts. Um, I believe that this whole Islamic thing that we feel is bad could be much of a relevant thing here in the U.S. very soon. And I mean, even with the whole potential of going to war with Iran, like it could start here in the U.S. You know what I'm saying?
No, it could, and that's where like it could, and that's where you have to look at it and go like, what hill do you die on? You know, like what do you like with going to war with Iran? Is that worth dying on that hill? Like, is that worth sending our sons and our daughters over there to potentially be killed? Like, what purpose are we doing that for? We understand that most all prior wars were fought over rich people wanting to get richer. War is very profitable for the wealthy. Um, and I mean, they nothing's better for a military contractor than to be in a 20-year forever war, which is what we did in Afghanistan. Like that's pretty profitable for an industry that makes its money off killing people. And so, yeah, like, but my last thought on Ma'am Danny is you talked about, taxing people like I think PBD is the one who said it, but he was like, man, you're going to, no, it was Grant Cardone. He's like, raise taxes on me. Fine. I'll just make more money, but there comes a point to where a wealthy person, they became wealthy because they watched their pennies and they do everything in their power to skirt taxes, which I ain't mad at. Like, skirt those taxes. But at the end of the day, you're going to raise taxes on them enough, and they're going to leave. And so I saw the video earlier today, but Ma'am Danny, they're raiding like some pension fund to get money, I think is what it was. And they're doing that because I don't think, I'm speculating here, but I don't think that they're recognizing that they're going to get enough of the tax away from from the wealthy, because the wealthy are leaving. Like you tell them enough that, hey, I'm going to tax you to freaking oblivion. Nah, dude, I'm going to go to Florida. Like, I have no
Mm-hmm.
state income tax in Florida. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That'd be freaking sweet.
50 Cent already
So
gone.
50 cents gone. I mean, dadgum,
Mm-hmm.
he just lost 50 cents. That's freaking insane. 50 cents is gone. That is just a freaking crying shame. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what Mam Danny does. But yeah, if you think Islam, I'm going to harp on Islam, because that thought process is, it's hard to find something in that thought process that brings any type of good. Um, I just can't. The oppression that you see of their women in general, like I do not want to live in a society that oppresses women to that extent. And then they'll sit there and say they're not oppressed. They'll say they're free in that garb, and I just don't believe it. I can't believe it. Like, I do not want to sit. I don't want to be in any clothes in the middle of summer in August in the South or anywhere, much less the Middle East, much less being freaking head to toe garb. Like, that just sounds absolutely terrible to be doing. And then so I just,
Well, you do
anyways,
know.
all that.
Um,
What?
I think this is something we haven't hit on is just the fact that uh, there's a lot of black Muslims.
Yeah, there are.
Um, whether they're strong, or like you know, like if it's exactly like um, other Muslims, but it's a lot of black Muslims, and uh, I think just real quick for Mamdani to get support, as much support as he did, uh, shows the power of the Muslim community, and it also shows um, the eruption of the black Hebrews, Hebrew Israelites, um, which they also believe that they're Muslims, which is weird. But um, I think it's a lot to be weary of when it comes to Islam because, I mean, once again, Nigeria just got saved by the grace of God and by the decision of Trump. Um, those Nigerian Christians, but they were being killed by black Muslims.
Yeah,
They weren't
yeah.
Assyrian. They weren't Middle East. Well, I guess is Africa Middle Eastern? Is that still Middle East?
No, that's Africa. Whoa.
Wait, what?
No, like you have the continent of Africa. I think you have the continent of, like, I think
It
that
doesn't have like a, a, a geographical direction.
no, it's just it's
Is it
it's
just
not.
middle? Well, I'm talking about Middle
Yeah.
Africa. Yeah, but yeah, that's a really big thing to look out for.
Asia. The Middle East is primarily located in the continent of Asia, specifically Southwest Asia, with a portion of its territory extending into North Africa, but mostly Asia.
Mm.
Which is
So
crazy because you think of Asia as like China and North and South Korea and North and South Vietnam and Laos and all those countries, but you don't think of it going as far, west as like the Mediterranean.
yeah, so I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you about to go to the
Yeah, I was
next
going to
one?
move, but quick. It's very interesting. Also, you were talking about the Muslims possibly being a helpmate to Memdani winning. In New York City, as of 2024, only has 8.4 million people living in it. And I say that, it's funny because that's like 2 times the amount of people that live in our state, which is kind of interesting. But there is between like 750 to 12 to a million Muslims in New York City. And if you look at like how many people voted for Ma'am Danny, let's see here. Sorry, I get stuck on numbers sometimes, guys, so I'm sorry about that. I hate when they always give you like percentages. Like, can you just give me the freaking total number of people that voted? Like, dadgummit, it's so frustrating when they do that.
We need an assistant.
Pull
it up, Jamie.
Total number of voter votes in the election for Ma'am Danny.
Well, regardless,
I don't know how to Google people. Ma'am Danny received 50.75% of the vote. Here we go. Ma'am Danny received 1.1 million votes. And Andrew Cuomo received 906,000. And Curtis Sliwa, he only received 153,000.
Yeah.
So I would be very interested to see how many of that 1.1 million that voted for Ma'am Danny that were a part of the 750,000 to 1 million, Muslims that are living in New York City.
I would say probably all, because I mean the call to prayer that they're having is literally as loud as a tornado alarm or a hurricane alarm.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
So
like, you can't have a noise ordinance. Like, this is how you know that it's indoctrination. Because if you go out there and you say, hey, local Baptist preacher, guess what you get to do? 6 o'clock every night, guess what? You can sit there on a loudspeaker and pray to Jesus Christ for as long as you want. No, they would never do that. They would never allow that. They would say that is the state pushing a religion. They would sit there and say that is a noise ordinance violation. They would throw everything and anything they can from the book at that. No, but if it's Islam, no, this is cultural acceptance, whatever they want to call it, and that's how you know it's.
I do believe it's timing as well, though, because the way culture is accepting of difference is more now. Like, I would say back then,
What do you mean?
if there's a lot of politicians that claim Christianity, but if there's a true Christian and like he wants to create as many disciples as possible from his position, then he very well could say, hey, like, we're gonna do this call to prayer, like we're gonna say the Lord's Prayer, like out loud in the city once a week or something like that. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing, is that's what I'm saying. Like, the government wouldn't allow it. Like, the government would not.
Then no. Now I believe it's more of a fight. You can have more of a chance now.
I get what you're saying. I still think the city council would shoot it down. I think in our city, the city council would shoot it down. I think I would, if I was on that city council, I would probably shoot it down, because what I don't want is, I don't want to open up that can of worms for allowing the Muslim call to prayer to be open. Because if you sit there and say, okay, like, Monday is Christian, Tuesday is Hindu, like Wednesday is Islam, like, I don't want that. Like, Like you want to worship how you want to worship, do it, but don't do it in a way that is impeding upon my life in a way.
Yeah. Well, here's
Especially if I can't get away from it.
yeah.
Like
So
I should be. If you want to sit there and talk about Jesus and you're talking in a park, great. Guess what? I can leave, but I can't freaking leave the city easily. Like it's just freaking dumb.
so you want to run away from Jesus, Thomas? Is that what you're saying?
You know my freaking point.
But look, so all of this is changing. Ma'am Donnie, Mom Donnie, Mama Don, the
Mama Don.
Ramadan,
Oh my gosh.
Jeffrey Epstein's son. If all this,
Do you think there's truth to that?
I don't know. I don't.
That
I don't
would be
really.
such a weird like connection. That
If it is, it's like okay, like what he's the mayor. Like it doesn't change anything.
yeah.
He's already there. So, but what what are we gonna do? Like, should we attack Iran? Like, should we eliminate? Should we just go ahead and eliminate the target?
So yeah. So to give you guys as viewers a little bit of backstory on this, Iran does not like America. America does not like Iran. Iran, however you want to freaking say that name. The leader of Iran, the Ayatollah, I think is what totally it's called. They came into power in 1979, and it was a true coup, like a true government overthrow. They overthrew the Shah in 1979, and it has been under oppressive rule. Like if you Google photos of like pre 1979 Iran, like it looks like a regular day in America, but if you look at it now, it's not, unless you are like in a highly Muslim Dearborn, Michigan, then it looks like Dearborn, Michigan. But yeah, it's not good. And so last year we bombed their nuclear silos, which is great. I don't really want a nuclear Iran. They freaking chant death to America in their like parliament meetings. So that's great. I don't really want people that are chanting death to my country to have nuclear freaking weapons. They are the #1 global sponsor of terrorism. So think about that one. Like the #1 global sponsor. If somebody goes off and starts shooting people, if someone does a car bomb, a suicide vest, whatever it is, like there is a very high likelihood that somewhere down the line of that individual getting to the point where they actually clicked the button or shot the people, that Iran was involved in helping them get to that position. Like I don't really care for people to be in power that are doing that. The issue is that Trump ran on America first. Trump ran on, hey, no more wars. So if we've already attacked Venezuela, there wasn't a war, it was a quick conflict, if you can even call it a conflict. So what do we do with Iran? Trump, there's been massive unrest. Apparently they have skyrocketing inflation. Like people are drastically unemployed, and so that's what's really causing all the unrest right now in Iran. And the estimates are hold on. The estimates are from deaths, and since I think this is since the start of the year, around 30 to 36,000 people have been killed by the government in Iran to try to quell protests. This is what it says. Some external sources, including leaked documents and foreign media reporting, have suggested fatalities could range from 30,000 up to 36,500 overall since the protests began, though these figures are not independently verified due to the information blackout. And that information blackout is Iran blacking it out. And so if you're committing atrocities like that, yeah, I would probably want to black that out as well. And so, and Trump has told them repeatedly, like, look, don't kill people. If you kill people, I'm going to intervene. And that's what you're seeing right now. There is a huge military buildup of American military in and around, not in, but around Iran right now. Like the highest buildup we've had since we went into Afghanistan. We are sending 2 carrier strike groups over there, which is, I meant to look this up before I started talking.
Don't give them the plan. They could be watching us.
They can see it right now. It's not hard. All right, so there are 7 to 10 ships in a carrier strike group. And so to give you, so it's 1 aircraft carrier, 3 to 6 guided cruise carriers, 1 to 2 submarines, 1 to 2 supply ships or oilers, and the carrier wing is 65 to 70 aircraft. So we're sitting there with 2 carrier groups of, let's just call it, let's just go to the top end. Let's go 70. So 140 aircrafts right there. And that's just what we're bringing into the theater. That's not including all the aircraft that we have in bases that surround or within range of Iran. I mean, when we sat there and we took out the nuclear facilities last year, those B-2s, they took off from Arkansas. Like, we freaking sat there, had some homeboys in Arkansas wake up, leave, say bye to their wife and kids, get in a plane, fly halfway around the world, bomb some crap, fly back home, and get back in bed. Like it was freaking just a regular Tuesday for them. And so...
It probably was.
Yeah, probably was. So the question is why do this? Like, one, outside of the atrocities, we sit there and we see countries intervene all the time. Who was it? Kony? Was the guy Kony in Africa back in like 2015, 2014-ish?
Yeah.
That was just murdering people.
Yeah.
And
Joseph Kony.
Joseph Kony. Like, I think we intervened. Some country intervened in that crap. You have a plethora of things throughout history where we sit there and we intervene against people that are just committing ridiculous atrocities versus mass amounts of individuals, true genocide. And I mean, 30 to 36,000 people within 2 months. I mean, I don't know what constitutes genocide, but to me, that's genocide. Mm-hmm. So it's like, one, you have that. Like, can we just sit there? If we have the ability to remove evil, do we remove it? Or do we sit there and go, figure it out? And then on top of that, you have the geopolitical aspect. We've already shut off Venezuelan oil to China. If we shut off Iranian oil to China's cooked. So I don't know if you guys have ever watched Peter Zeihan, but that dude is like so smart when it comes to like politics and how each country works. For China to get oil has to leave Iran and like travel through a lot, like all the way down like the coast of Africa, or go through the Suez Canal, and then it travels below India, and then it comes up through the South China Sea, and it gives oil to China. And so if you shut off that oil, China is truly cooked because they don't have oil. They are like, I think they're the greatest importer of oil in the world. Let me see that real quick.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this has been my final thought. Um, on the war thing. I believe war is sometimes necessary, and I also believe that if we have Iran killing people, innocent people, and they're just going on this bloodbath, uh, I believe that we should kill them. I mean, God killed Cain after killing Abel. Well, what was it? The heel, bruised heel.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but that was probably a terrible reference.
No, you're good.
Um, but just ultimately, if there's a choice between good and evil, and ultimately evil is erupting, it is surpassing good. Uh, I don't believe that we will ever experience a peace on Earth. Um, as far as you know, nobody's trying to kill people and reach for money and power and gain and all that type of stuff. But if we did go to war with Iran and China, oil supply completely gets disrupted, that could potentially, in my opinion, spark another war, which could entirely start a world war because China could very well get pissed, try to defend their, oil source, um, because Venezuela, it took everybody by surprise, and I would assume China as well. And so, if we went out and did it again, um, I think it would be like if it was people, if anybody from the hood, like you got a drug dealer, if you dealing drugs or whatever, and somebody's like on your block and they're new, you never seen them before, and they're talking to your people, then you're gonna be like, "Hey man, I gotta do something about this person because they on my block, right? I own this
Yeah.
corner." So same with China is like, "Hey, y'all stepping into my supply. We own this oil oil supply or whatever the case may be," and I believe it would piss off China. Do we care? Should we care? Those are the questions that I don't have an answer for yet.
No, I ain't paid enough. I think we should care that we should care. But to give a little bit, yes, Iran, China is the number one exporter of Iranian oil. They do get oil from other countries as well.
Oh, they
And Trump
export.
is importing. They're importing
Oh,
Iranian oil, and they're the number one buyer of Iranian oil. But they do get oil from other countries as well. And what's really interesting is you do look at what Trump is doing with Putin, and we're going to have this discussion in a few weeks. But if you look at the founding fathers, they never wanted us to be in forever like alliances with countries. So which is very different than what I grew up believing. But we're going to tackle that in a few weeks. But that being said, though, with Iran, however you say that name,
Iran.
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 Aaron. It sounds like Trump. If it with them, whatever we're gonna do, I don't believe if we do attack them. I do think that it's gonna be like true, like shock and awe. I don't see Trump having a forever war. Trump hates forever wars. Like he tweeted in 2019, he says the endless wars must end. On inheriting conflicts, he said, I inherited a total mess in Syria and Afghanistan, the endless wars of unlimited spending and death. On military role, he said in 2019, I was elected on getting out of these ridiculous endless wars where our great military functions as a policing operation to the benefit of people who don't even like the USA. We want to have no wars. He said that last August, he said, I've solved 6 wars in 6 months, which he did. Most people haven't heard about that, but there were 6, you might want to call them wars, but big regional conflicts around the world that America did step in and help broker peace between these countries. He on past administration and actions, he said, I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country, referring to the withdrawal from Afghanistan, which took place back in 2021. And so his rhetoric, and that's just very recent. Like he has never spoken on endless wars being a good thing. And so whatever we're going to do, if we do anything with Iran, which I actually don't think we want to attack them personally. And Trump, if you look at everything that he does, it is a show them the big freaking stick that could bash their head in. And use that to draw them to the negotiation table. And I think that's what Trump is doing right now. He's bringing in a big freaking stick into their backyard and saying, look, dude, you're going to F around, you're going to find out. And you'll find out. I do think that if we have to, Trump will swing. But I also think if we have to swing, I think he's going to swing quick and he's going to swing decisively. And it's not going to be something where we're there for years. If I'm wrong, I pray I am not wrong, but that would go against everything that I have ever watched Trump do for the last 10 to 15 years of really following him. And so that all said, hopefully that gives a little bit of context. We've kind of touched a lot of different topics there. We're a little bit over on our time, guys, but if we appreciate you jumping on. If you got something from this, let us know. We enjoy doing this. We would be doing it if you weren't here, because we enjoy these discussions. We enjoy these topics, but we want to hear from you. Like, we want to give you conversation that you want to hear. Like, you have a million things that you could listen to, watch, whatever. Like, I appreciate you being here. We really do appreciate it. And so let us know, comment, whatever you want to do. And so with all that said, guys, I'm out. And we won't be here next week, but we will be starting the week after, I think.
I'll be flying. Pray for me. I'm flying to
It's
Israel.
going to be fun. No, you're not. Like, oh my gosh. I swear.
But I will be flying.
Wait, when do you get back?
March 7th or the 6th. 7th.
All right, so we're going to be gone for 2 weeks. We'll be back on the 12th.
I hate that ended up being like actual dates. That just made me so mad.
All right, anyways, on that note, y'all have a great night, a wonderful weekend. We will see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.